I'm going to call this meeting of the Southwest Consolidated Zoning Board. I'm Jason Cooper, Chairman, and have call to order. So first thing on the agenda was to have a roll call.
John DeGrand,
Present.
Jason Cooper,
Here.
Terry Atwell,
Here.
Rebecca Barton, Donna Getzman,
Here.
Brian Walker,
Here.
David Wolf is absent, Darren Schaefer,
Here.
Randy Hutchins is absent. So that makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 members present, so we have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. Next, we need to have the statement of the hybrid in-person meeting statement read, please.
This meeting is now being recorded. Please silence all electronic devices. Please note this meeting is being held in the board hearing room with zoning board members attending in person. There is also an option for virtual attendance on Zoom webinar. If you are using Zoom, you may participate in the meeting using your computer, telephone, or other electronic device. For Zoom participants, chat will be disabled once the meeting begins. If you have trouble, please call 913-715-1700. If you would like to speak, please use the raise hand function in the Zoom app to notify planning staff of your desire to speak. To activate this function, click raise hand in the webinar controls at the bottom of the screen. By telephone, you may raise your hand by dialing *9. Please do not utilize the raise hand function until the start of the agenda item about which you desire to comment. We will take comments from in-person attendees first, followed by Zoom participants. The Zoom moderator will call on individuals who have raised their hand. The chairman may modify these procedures as needed to conduct an orderly and efficient meeting. All public speakers will be limited to 3 minutes unless the chair designates a different time period in order to accommodate all the speakers. When your name is called by the moderator, your microphone will be unmuted. Please state your name and address for the record, followed by your comments. If you share concerns, comments, or points made by others, please refrain from repeating those comments and instead note for the record that you agree with the previous individual's comments. There will be a 10 seconds remaining warning sound. Board members and presenters, please state your name every time you begin talking so that the comments can be transcribed for the record. This is a public meeting. We are presenting live and recording the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any adds, deletes, revisions, or other things to change the agenda? And from what I understand, staff has requested a change, removing under other business the revising of the board's bylaws. They want to remove that and postpone that for to our next meeting in March. So,
That's correct.
Mr. Penley, you have a comment on that?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sean Penley, planning staff. Jay Leipzig is, I believe, available on Zoom, and he wanted to give a quick update on that item.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jay Leipzig, the planning director. Hey, I just wanted to let everybody know that we did have the bylaws on for the final review this evening. We wanted to apologize on behalf of Peg Trent, and we were just delayed today getting those out to you. So we'll have those final revisions done in the next couple of days. We'll send a copy of those out to you, hopefully later on next week at the latest. So we'll have plenty of time to review them, and they'll be before you during your March meeting. Originally we were trying to get those through as quickly as possible. However, we're going to bring them all before the Board of County Commissioners at the same time, so we do have some time. So just wanted to let everybody know that we're working on those, and we'll be able to get them in front of you and have you'll have enough time to review them all prior to the formal review. Thank you, Chair. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Any disclosure conflicts of interest?
None.
Okay, any disclosure of external contacts and/or discussions?
None.
No? Okay. Next item is to approve the minutes from the January 25th, 2023 meeting. Hopefully everybody's reviewed them and looked at them. If nobody has any questions or anything or comments, I'd be open for a motion to approve.
Brian Walker, move to approve the January 25th board meeting minutes.
Donna Getzman, second.
All right, thank you. We have a motion and a second, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Okay, approval of minutes passes. Okay, next item is the Board of County Commissioners' actions. Mr. Penley, you have,
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sean Penley, County Planning Staff. There are no updates for Board of County Commissioners' actions. At this last meeting, last month for this board, we just discussed the draft bylaws. As Mr. Leipzig indicated, that item isn't yet prepared. It will come back before this board for a discussion, a review, and a recommendation, and then ultimately that will go before the Board of County Commissioners. So no other updates on Board of County Commissioners' actions.
okay.
I can give an update on Planning Commission activities if you.
Yep, that's the next thing, Plan
Yes.
Commission activities.
Yeah, so we announced at the last meeting last month, the last meeting was January 24th. We gave an update on the last meeting on the 25th, I think it was the day after, for that meeting in January. We do have another meeting coming up that's scheduled for next Tuesday, February 28th. And at that meeting for the Planning Commission next week, all that's on the agenda will be a presentation by the legal staff for a board member training for the Planning Commission. That's the only item on there. Other than updates, we'll be providing updates to the Planning Commission on some activities with the New Century Air Center and Executive Airport compatibility plans. We'll just be providing updates on those. Then we did want to note that there will also be an update for the Sunflower Area Plan update that staff is working on. We do have a public meeting that's scheduled for March 21st. We'll be giving the Planning Commission an update on that, but we'll be inviting the public for that area around the former Sunflower Army Ammunition Plant. So that meeting will be in March, but that's all that's scheduled for Planning Commission next week.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, business before the board. Application SW 23-270-FDP GA on 159th Street and North Loop Road. I assume we have a presentation by staff.
Yes. Thank you. Diane Wickland, Planning Department. I would like to enter into the record the staff report dated February 15th, 2023. The applicant is Mike Schloop and with Carson Development Incorporated, and the engineer and also applicant is Ryan Kubert with Olson Engineering, and he's here present tonight. So this, the subject property here is located, as you can see here on the vicinity map, at North Loop Road and 159th Street. So it's just east of New Century Parkway. The site has PEC 3 industrial zoning. The site is vacant and it's about 2.49 acres in size. So the applicant is requesting a final development plan for construction of an approximate 22,500 square foot airplane hangar, a connection to the existing taxiway, and a parking lot and driveway. So you can see here on the screen is an aerial view of the subject property that's outlined in red. And so staff has reviewed the final development plan with respect to the approved preliminary development plan for the New Century Air Center. So I'll just kind of go through some highlights here. So the building does meet the setback requirements for the preliminary development plan. The floor area ratio for the hangar is 0.21, which is under the maximum of 0.50. So it meets that floor area ratio requirement. In terms of building design, so here is the site plan showing the location of the hangar. You can see the parking area on the south side of the building, and then the street It's just there on the east side, and then you can see that connection to the taxiway. Here is just the grading plan, the utility plan. Here's the landscaping plan, which I'll get to in a minute. But the building design, so the hangar's design is consistent with other airplane hangar construction out at the Air Center, with metal wall panels on all four sides and a standing seam metal roof. The south side of the building includes an office area and lobby, and then the west elevation contains a 100-foot wide hydraulic hangar door, and the proposed height is about 46 feet tall. Applicant has not identified details for site lighting at this time, but the applicant has stated that they do intend to have exterior wall lighting, and it will be shielded and downward facing to prevent glare. And then we just have a stipulation that says that a photometric plan with the lighting details will be required at the time of building permit. The final development plan shows 10 parking spaces, and that is adequate and sufficient for the parking needs for the hangar. There's no employees associated with this private airplane hangar. So although the airport development plan does require parking area landscaping in general, the location of airplane hangars that are adjacent to runways aren't conducive for landscaping, given the potential for hazards to aircraft. So in this area and for this application, landscaping would not be required. And so really what they're going to be doing, I can go back to that landscape plan here, is just planting some sod on the areas that you can see here. That's the darker color. And that they won't be installing any trees or landscaping. In terms of signage, at this time, the applicant has not proposed any signage. And then just to note, the stipulation just states that any signs shall require approval of a sign permit. And just to note that monument signs are permitted, but if they wanted to do a wall sign, they would need to come back through process and do a development plan for a wall sign. So access to the site, again, will be provided from that existing driveway connecting to 159th Street. And then also to note that a stormwater management memo was submitted to, reviewed and accepted by the County Public Works Department. And so again, here's just the elevations of what the hangar building will look like. And then this is just kind of the floor plan of the space for the aircraft. And then you can see the office and small lobby area there on the bottom part of the screen. So in the back of the packet, there is a memo from the Public Works Department, also a memo from the Building Codes Department, from Johnson County Wastewater Department, and then the Fire District Number 1, also a memo from them. And then also to note that Airport Commission staff has reviewed the application and has no concerns or issues with the application. So therefore, planning staff is recommending approval of the development plan for construction of the hangar building, subject to the stipulations that we have listed on page 4 of the staff report. The staff reason for recommending approval is just that the final development plan as stipulated is in compliance with the conditions of the New Century Air Center's preliminary development plan. And then also to note, at the bottom of page 4, there is a suggested motion for the zoning board's reference. So with that, I think I'll stop here, see if there's any questions, and then also to note the applicant is here, can address any questions as well.
All right, well, thank you. Does anybody have questions for staff? All right. If the applicant wants to make a presentation or speak or agree with staff, or we can do that, or it's fine if you agree with findings of staff, we're good with that too.
Hi there, Ryan Kubert with Olson Engineering, 7301 West 133rd Street, Overland Park, representing Carson Development and Mike Schloop as the primary applicant and end user of this hangar. I agree with everything Diane and staff have said, and we agree to the stipulations of the report.
Well, thank you. Does staff have questions for the applicant? No? Nobody on Zoom? Okay, good.
None.
Okay, thank you. I guess at this point, do we have any members of the public that want to speak on this matter or have comments or questions? Okay. That looks like none. All right, then. The board want to have a discussion about this, or if you're comfortable with this, then we could move forward with the motion if nobody has any issues.
Well, I'm good with everything, so I can make a motion if you guys are on board with that.
Go for it.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
Okay, Terry Atwell, I move to approve application number SW 23-270-FDP-GA of the final development plan for an airplane hangar on the subject property located on the west side of 159th Street and North Loop Road, subject to the stipulations and for the reasons outlined in the staff report.
Darren Schaefer, second.
all right. We have a motion and a second, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. And that will come, I was going to say, staff, when will that go to the board?
Yes, thank you. Diane Wicklund. So this will go to the Board of County Commissioners on March 23rd, 9:30 a.m. Actually in this room, 111 South Cherry, Johnson County Administration Building on the 3rd floor.
Okay, thank you. So do we have does anybody have any other business?
None.
No? Okay. Staff, any other business that we need to deal with?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sean Penley, County Planning Staff. The only other item I was going to note was the next meeting date is March 22nd. That's the next regularly scheduled meeting date for this board, and as we mentioned, we'll be considering the revised bylaws. You'll receive that in your packet the week before or sooner, if not sooner. Then there are also other items that are scheduled for that meeting. I believe we have 3 applications scheduled, so we'll have a pretty good agenda for the next meeting.
Okay, cool, thank you. All right, then if we have nothing else, I would entertain a amendment, or a motion, sorry. A motion.
Terry Atwell, I make a motion to adjourn.
There you go.
Brian
Donna
Walker,
gets them.
second.
Go ahead.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
All opposed, same sign. We are adjourned.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good evening.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.